Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Audio good. I know the in-game can get old at times, but I set the mic to 10 and the in-game to 3, so everybody can hear me. Everything good? Okay, so I'm going to start off real basic. I'm just going to play the first level. This is different from the streams that I've done in the past, or at least the first couple streams. Those were usually more of a intro, first impressions, more so. This one I have been playing quite a bit in the last week. Ever since TA streamed it last week, I went pretty much right into it, trying to see what I could do. So I'm just going to show this level kind of the way it was meant to be done, or at least as a start, kind of tutorial level. And then I will show kind of what is possible. I feel like the stream last week kind of made it seem harder. It's not easy, but it's forgiving in the fact that, you know, as long as you're learning from it, actually putting the time in to observe what's going on, you'll get a lot out of it. So this is, I'm not going to use the power-ups I have. You can pretty much break a level just by using the power-ups. This is where you would get the gun. And then you would have to wait for this. So the whole idea pretty much is you are ascending. You're aiming to go up. Along the way, each level has 4 musical tracks that you can pick up. It also has 4 logs as well as 1 developer log. And then there's usually some power-ups. The gun itself allows you to switch things on and off. So platform, or these booster panels, these green platforms are your checkpoints. There are enemies, there are turrets. You can also turn off the boosters, because they will be in your way. You have a double jump from the start. Level 2 is pretty much just a continuation of this. It's more of a tutorial showing you more of the concepts, core concepts of the game. Level 3, you unlock the boost for the dash ability. Level 4, you unlock an anti-gravity or directional gravity setting. And then level 5, you unlock the rocket. So those are the turrets. You can shoot them and they'll stop shooting you for a little bit. They do turn back on. Now, anybody who did watch that Friday remembers the tower here. There was actually a really quick way to get around this that I found the first time. So if you come up around here, which we did actually see this happen. There was a collectible here. The thing is that if you jump over here, you go up, and then immediately you're right back to the top of the tower. Didn't have to do all that twisting and turning to go around everything. Eventually, so... Wow, I'm already up to 3 minutes. So this is doing the level exactly as they want you to do it. Or relatively exactly how they want you to do it. This is the path. The path itself is pretty well detailed. It's, you know, it doesn't ever really get too obscure with the pathing. You can usually see what they're trying to get you to do and figure out exactly how they want you to do it. It's just figuring out the timing for everything that's going on screen at the same time. And as I said, after I finish this first run of the level, I will completely play this level one more time, just to show you how broken some of this can be. And why where this game can get a lot more difficult as well as fun. So I think this character has all the upgrades at this point. I believe at least. For some reason my tracking of power-ups is broken. I had found like some power-ups earlier than maybe the game thought I would have been able to, and that has made things just more complicated. But apparently right before stream I wanted to make sure that I had all my ammo upgrades, and so figures. Wow. I promise, I'm actually good at this. Or at least decent. That's the only worry about playing this, is that if you get frustrated, you're gonna just... you can make so many more mistakes. Okay, so 5:38, that's pretty good. I think I've been saying my first time through the level was about 7 or 8 minutes. So I'm gonna play the level again. My best time is 2:56. As part of the speed run, there is an achievement in this game for getting every level under par time. So par time for this level was 3 minutes. Wow, that's a terrible start. So that 3-minute time that we're aiming for, it did take a few tries, and it took me eventually optimizing out a couple of... we're looking at some videos to see how some people were able to further break this level. So here is... oh my gosh, okay, we're gonna just restart. I don't need to show off, but I kind of want to, and I'd like a decent time for that. So the one thing you have to watch out for especially is making sure that your jumps are actually occurring at certain times, or actually you're hitting the platform again. So your double jump does not just recharge after a certain time, you actually do have to hit ground. A lot of the surfaces in this game do allow for more. Okay, that's the one thing, is that because you can do so much more on these levels, and that dash is really nice to have, I have overshot that platform a ton of times. Okay, so the dash. I personally hate the button layout for this game. The default button for the dash is actually right button press, or right stick pressing that. Luckily, using the Elite controller, it's not too bad, because I actually mapped to one of the bumpers the right stick. So it makes it a little bit more comfortable. I personally think if I had to actually click the right stick, which you're using for aiming at the same time, I think I'd be a little bit crazy. So the other thing is that for this game, really, the more power-ups you have, and there are other paths through everything, like that area right there with those rings. Technically, you can actually do that, I think, from the beginning, but it's easier once you have some power-ups available to you. And really the thing is that a lot of the actual, so I don't have to shoot turrets too frequently. Really, you don't have to ever. There are a few spots that'll be beneficial to you, but in general, it's wasted time. You can usually dodge and weave through the majority of them. Okay, so This is one of the bigger skips for this level usually, going up here and around. And the other thing is that these cylinders, you can actually just jump up them. So as long as you can get a little bit of grip on it, you're okay. And then the true skip is, this is the rocket. Oh, that's right. Wow. So really, didn't even have to do half of those things. That was still not a good time, but much better. So 3.5 minutes. Okay, real thing I'm going to do today is probably just work on some of the speedrun levels. This is actually an achievement for this one, doing the whole story in under an hour. Taking my only full cycle run from start to finish, I did a 2:47. So I think the first 3 levels are about the 47 portion of that. And then the last 2 levels, my first run to each of them is about an hour. So, not terrible. So it gives you a time for each of your levels. So yeah, my best on that first level is 2:56. Then I have a 4:22 on the second level. Third level, I've gotten that down under par now at 7:37. The last 2 are the real big problems. So the storm, 40 minutes is about 20 better than it was my first run through. This level's just long, and I don't know how these people put up these bad glitch times. Like, I could believe a 7-minute run, but I don't know where that negative comes from. And then the ascension in the last level, yeah, close to an hour. I haven't really improved the times yet because I've actually just been playing for collections. So I've been aiming to get the all the different collectibles for every level. We're getting there. Okay, so I've done alpha and beta. I do have a time posted. They're not good, but they're done. The tower, it's 2 spark levels, gamma and delta. We'll start with gamma. I am blindly running these. These levels kind of put together everything and try to take some of the things that happened in those levels when you played them the first time. So like level 2 did a lot with lasers and jump boost panels and observation of different areas. That also introduced that. They're like a little box. All the box does is he tries to push you. So yeah, this level started introducing a lot with different laser patterns and trying to get you to jump around and all that. Let's see. Wow, that is terrible. And I would destroy them completely. Unfortunately, I found out you don't actually destroy them completely when you do that. So, like... wow. So you would think I just had him fall off the edge of the cliff. Unfortunately, he is far from gone. He just falls for a little bit, and then afterwards he'll return to piss me off again. Luckily, I'm not going for par time yet. That's the one thing. I thought, oh, I can eventually get par times for all these levels. And it'll be a very impressive completion added to the list. That's not going to be simple by any means. Yeah, they introduced rocket jumping. That was one of the other abilities. The only drawback to the rocket is it just costs you a ton of ammo. So yeah, that's the one thing, is that a lot of what was mentioned during the stream was just, you know, how much it relies on this idea of timing. And I think the aiming is not terribly difficult. It takes a bit of getting used to. Is that an open field for me to jump into? The one thing they do add is that the first level you can pretty much jump down from wherever you are down to a lower area. Starting in the second and third level, they make it so that you can't return to areas that you had been. So that there's now a laser grid at the bottom of the level, and that laser grid gets higher up, depending on where in the level you are. So as you can see, the laser grid has just risen, so it kind of removes some of the safety net. So that red blade fan, it just... Oh, that was the end of it? That's not too bad. Minute and a half, I'm still 3 times over the limit for dev time, but that's not terribly difficult. Yeah, these are all short. There is an achievement for just completing them all once, so we're moving up. So yes, this is the anti-gravity. Just this purple box. I hate that grid, that laser grid. First time doing the challenge, but I've seen that laser grid many a time before now. So yeah, these anti-gravity or shifted gravity sections, all they do is bring you down to whatever direction. It's kind of, you have to experiment to just see it. There's not really an indication except for the particles, and when you're kind of having to blindly jump into them, there's no real way to see that. The dash is not directional, it is just a straight horizontal dash. You can see the meter from the dash on the gun. As long as you are not completely draining it, you can use it. But as soon as you completely drain it to the red zone, it has to fully recharge at that point. And here's, yeah, so like this one, they don't tell, you know, that one is a falling section. That one, you know, you have to more just dodge and weave. And yes, this game is frustrating. I'm definitely not one of those people who's great at platformers. Like, I will play them and I'll have fun doing so. It's interesting because actually 2 of the people on my TA friends list are 2 of the guys who really just run platformers on this. Oh, there was a safe checkpoint here. Oh, that's just not even right. Yeah, I'm trying to not have any controller shaped holes because I'm using my Elite controller and that would just hurt. I think I saw a discussion, maybe it was yesterday during the Forza Horizon stream or during the Discord, was people talking about, you know, whoa, that wasn't cool. You know, the fragility of these. And yes, they are a bit, but I haven't had an issue. I've heard bad things and it makes me scared about, you know, something going wrong, but I have not seen it happen, or I haven't not had that kind of those problems. Ugh. Okay. What am I missing here? I feel like there's something here. There's gotta be. I don't think you want me to jump that way. Unless you're expecting me to pull this maneuver off. Sure, why not? Let's make sure I have solid ground first. I know what I was supposed to do there. Aiming is fairly forgiving. That's what I was supposed to do there. Okay, so yeah, like him, he'll just fall off to oblivion. Unfortunately, eventually well, I said his program will eventually catch up and it'll eventually come back to me, but I'm actually happier that he doesn't. Okay, so that little dot thing, those are the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes, they have one head mosquito, and then he commands the others. That's interesting. I'm actually stuck. I think there's gotta be a way for me to try to... Thought I hit it. Oh, that's a really short time window. Okay, I don't want to actually reach the bottom. Now, which direction is the... Like I said, it's all about trying to learn the patterns as they're coming. And I am getting frustrated. And I have observed myself mess up because of the frustration. And I'm actually planning to buy the other speedrunning platform game that came out this week. Super Cloud Built. I don't know, that one looks nicer, but I think it's just because the characters look like they're much more characters and not like Super Cloud Built looks happy. This looks imposing because of the fact that it's got that how do I describe it? It's got so much, it's got that industrialism, it's got this cold unfeelingness to it. Whoa, that was weird. Like I said, a lot of the patterns are kind of consistent in that regard. That's the end. There's another one down. 2.5 minutes. That'll be easy. I promise. You know, eventually. Okay, so 2 down. And yeah, I'm last place, but I'm one of the only 7 people to ever complete that. Apparently, on this game. Okay, Epsilon. Yes, this level is the one that introduced the dash mechanic and introduced a lot of these types of high-low laser trips or traps. Has there really not been a checkpoint yet? Like, I'm worried there hasn't been one, and I'm still... Oh, there it is. Whew. I was worried that I would do something like that where I mistime a jump. Oh crap. Yeah, like I said, rocket turrets, they're nice to try and shoot, but not necessary. They have a very simple aiming mechanic. You can pretty much always dodge them. I dashed too much. Derek, are you still here? Well, either way, I talked to some people who had tried Super Cloud Built as well as this, and they said there was a mixed feeling in terms of what was actually harder. Some people said this was the harder of the two. Some people said Super Cloud Built was actually harder. So I think they both give that, you know, that feeling of trying to, of speed and precision. So I know you said you were interested in it, just so you're aware of what you might be getting yourself into. So those are the mosquitoes. That's the head mosquito. If you shoot him offline, all of his drones go away too. And there's one other floaty enemy. I'm sure they'll start putting him in levels soon. And he's the only one who can actually really hurt you. Like, the fact that they can bounce you off is annoying. But there's actually the last enemy type, he has a laser. No, I get it. I mean, that's the thing. You had expressed interest, and I was kind of like, everything I had heard about this or Cloud Built kind of had that same precision, and I mean, I haven't gone back to Mirror's Edge. So I always wonder, you know, do I want to go back to that sometime and see what I've learned? rocket jumping that they actually give you is not hugely important. Wow, this is just a mean section. Whew. I almost had it. Needed to shoot that. Funny part is I keep on going forward at the start of this checkpoint without remembering the bouncer is behind you. What did I do? What did I do? Crap. I know it's coming and I'm just not thinking. Or not fast enough. This is killing me. Oh, thank God. Whew. I think that's half of the spark levels. And I think I'll ever beat this game in an hour. Luckily, these spark levels are more difficult, so... And I actually like this mechanic. I find this one fun, actually. Missed that jump, though. Like, some of these... The way they integrate the anti-gravity with the dash and the gun and everything. It's actually really fun. It's just really frustrating because they don't really hold your hand ever. So, is that on a timer or is that, okay, that is on a timer. What's that? Okay, and is that on a timer? Of course it is. Really? You gonna give me a checkpoint yet? Maybe? Really? Is the world just out to get me? Hey, a checkpoint. Figured it could have been just one, you know, one super long checkpoint for the whole level. That would have been great. Try the other path. Maybe the other path is more my speed. cloud belt. I think I'm gonna try it eventually. So I would gladly try it out and let you know what I think. That a lot easier. Ugh. Really, was there not any? This is the level of bad checkpoints. Oh, definitely. The art style for Cloud Village is really cool. Actually, watching the I watched the ID stream on Friday afternoon since nobody else was streaming, and there is actually in the options menu there was the ability to change the art style between a few different types. It was actually really cool, just seeing all the different ones that were available. That would have helped. Just my luck. I'm rushing. Of course, since I did win Serial Cleaner this week, that might be one to do in the near future. I would have tried to jump over the whole floor, but that's not going to work, unfortunately. See, they thought of that. That would have been smart from the start. Just, you know, go around the outside. Whoa, that's a big one. Now I'm just being impatient. actually there, or was it not? Because it disappeared both times. This has been one of my few complaints actually about the game, is that I've actually landed on things that appeared to have been there, and then they're not. Actually, the third level has one of those that's like, I've gone through something, and it looked like it was a solid object. So I don't know if they just didn't render everything or what. That's a cool ability that I didn't know. You can charge a rocket and fire a normal shot at the same time. This level's still not done. Really? Moved? Oh man, come on. That's just infuriating or frustrating. That 4-minute time is going to be a pain. Every one of these par times is just ridiculous. Okay. I'm gonna take a break from being ridiculous and let's have relative fun at this point. I'm just gonna run the 5th level of the game for a little bit, get some practice, because I've run the first half of this level a bunch of times, gotten better at it, but I do need to still get quite a bit better at the second half of this level. This level is pretty long. I think I found this my first time through the level and couldn't do it because I didn't have the rocket. Didn't realize you needed some abilities to get through certain parts of this at the time, because this section is multi-switches. But now that I know it, it's actually really a consistent path and so much quicker than the intended way to do it your first time through. And now that I've actually got all the ammo upgrades, this will be a lot more straightforward. Because ammo management for this level is actually pretty important. Because so the whole idea for this level is actually to ascend the tower. But to activate the elevator for each of the sections, you have to head out to some island, and I will call it an island. And each of them is guarded by one of those things. And what that thing does is he fires a laser. And the laser goes a lot farther than I think the laser should go. And he will fire the laser for an extended period of time. I think he's a jerk. Luckily, one rocket usually does the job. So there's like 3 of these sections. So the first one has 1. Then the next one has 2 of these outdistant tower that you have to activate, and then... Really? I died right at the end of climbing an elevator through an open floor. Ooh. As I said, I swear, I've gotten much better at this game. And I'm actually, what I would say is decent. That's the thing, this level, the 57-minute time that I have is really just my first ever run at this level. I haven't ever done a second run of the level to see how much... Like, you kind of saw it with how bad I did with those spark levels. The challenges. Is just that, without knowing what I'm running into, I haven't figured out ways to get through them. And that's one of the benefits of having run some of these sections multiple times, and even once. Like, the first time trying to figure out a lot of these puzzles is frustrating. So I hope that doing this level, at least, which is the 5th level of the game, the final level, you know, this makes it look a little less intimidating. at times. So like, I'm not expecting this to be the glowing recommendation that's going to make, you know, you buy this. But I want you to see that, yes, as bad as some of these levels have looked, especially the Spark ones, so if you are a completionist, yeah, this might not be for you if you're not a platformer fan. It's not nearly as terrible, especially when you start skipping stuff like this. So that whole section right below me, I've never actually done it the proper way. I've done it that way every time. I just jump the whole section. And then inevitably that happens. Luckily, they saved the fact that I activated the spark. Now, the one thing, or the tower, or whatever they want to call it. One of the few times I'll actually completely exhaust my my dash. I think they want you to go through those squares, but luckily the in-air movement is relatively forgiving. As you can see, I'm just going to feather the dash. If I were to actually completely exhaust it, I'd be screwed through this, but just by feathering it a little bit throughout, relatively harmless. I've taken a section that would have been a huge pain in the ass to get through, and I just went around pretty much all of it. So yeah, he gives you some time to try and charge up. Best part about that section is they allow you to charge up or hit the pillar sphere thing from outside. There's the blast radius on the rocket where the charge shot is pretty large. So you can get away with a lot. The checkpoint there. The fact that I'm actually under 10 minutes for this isn't bad. I think the first time that was at least double or triple that. So, making decent time. Like I said, that was the laser guy. So he was hanging around, and he will follow you forever, apparently. So even though I went pretty much half a map away, he still was able to hit me. He is a jerk. Oh, right, this one. I haven't done this one in a while. Gotta move quicker on that guy. Gotta not dash into a laser grid. Wait, where's the... There. However, I just found something I'm missing. Nice. Just another step closer to at least one of the more reasonable achievements in this game. Okay, now the big thing about this third area, is they actually give you a really convenient way to get back. Well, they all do, but this one especially. Or these ones especially. Right at the end of each of them is just a returner jumper. Especially if you do something boneheaded, like run right into the laser grid. Like that. And that's part of the reason I eventually started, instead of taking the... trying to make it to the next one, I just started taking the elevator shaft back again. Who was that? Oh, man. Dude, I don't want to go. At this rate, I'll cut my time for this whole level in half. Unless I have completely jinxed myself. Gotta go down to go up. Should look up before you, just jump right onto a boost panel. Why did I just go that way again? Like I said, that laser guy, they are just always watching. For some reason, they just don't want to give up. I definitely tried to shoot you, and I definitely must have missed. Okay, that's better. 21 minutes. I think that cuts off about 35 or 36 minutes. I think that's still going to be too slow if I'm aiming for that hour, but that was good practice at least. And I think I'm down to just 2 or 3 logs. So those 3, which means I have to do this level and actually look for them. And that's just the last level that's really giving me any issues. But part of that is I just keep on trying to look for other stuff. And this level is just... it's not obvious at times. This is the one level where signposting is kind of missing or light. So, as soon as I learn it better, like, I think this will not be a problem. And I've tried to watch some other people do this one, because there are some good videos out there that kind of show you exactly what you can do. And I am not above using the help of other people for this, because I realize I'm not going to be the best or the quickest. So, if somebody's put the work in, you know, I don't think I'd ever write a walkthrough for this one, because I don't think I'd pretty much just be like, here, use these videos by this guy, or these guys, because they've detailed how to do it perfectly. So yeah, this spot here is where you actually get the gravity. And then they just keep on messing with you for the rest of the game. Yeah, every level pretty much has a split path in it. So there's going to be always 1 or 2 ways to go through the level, and there's also going to be a couple of shortcuts. What you'll be able to get are these blue spheres. They call them sparks. I can't really show them off because I have them all now. That was one of the first things I went for as part of the completion, was kind of just like, where are the sparks? And you can usually pretty easily detect where they're going to be, because you'll see like some part of the level that is just white outlines, kind of like the gravity color, but you'll see it for large sections of the level. And so you'll see this blue sphere type object nearby, and that is the spark. Yeah, this is what I mean by the level kind of where I think that it sometimes doesn't even obey its own rules. And I need to play by the rules. There we go. Nope. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm not really good at yet. If I was, it would make such a difference for actually getting through these levels, is just the ability to rocket jump. The game kind of makes it obvious, like, use rocket jumping. Rocket jumping is great. It is quick. Use level geography to exploit the problems with having slight angles. Ah yes, the mosquito. As you can see, just shoot the one guy. see the one guy. Don't think that's what the game wanted me to do. Yeah, looking at it, I think if I keep working at it, the hour won't be the most painful of all the sets. I think I will get at least all 5 of the main levels down for this hour run. But it's the par times for the special levels that are kind of not going to be as clear. Hey, that looks like a secret. And it is. Whoa. Crap. Reset this? Yep. Not that one. Yeah, that's the one bad thing about this level, as I said, is I just don't know where I'm going yet. And if I did, I think it would be a lot simpler. that jump through all those is more impressive, or less impressive than it looks. It looks like you really have to try. Really, I'm just going forward. That was not cool. This puzzle is actually pretty fun. The idea of having to shift the platforms, make them all align. Little stuff. And this puzzle is terrible. Although that was probably the best I've ever run in that first section. Okay, as proof of concept that there are puzzles that you just have to do until you learn them. This one I must have attempted at least a half dozen being nice. At least a dozen times to get the timing exactly right. And this puzzle I have never done right, so I'm just going to cheat. That was definitely not the intended method of doing that puzzle. That's not bad. 20 minutes? Let's see, how does that leave me? 2 logs left, but then obviously best times probably will not happen on every map, but 3, call that 5, so 8, another 8, 16. We're close to an hour, actually. Figure if I get the last couple of sparks here, or I get the last couple of logs on this level, and then learn it a little bit better during that time. Ascension, maybe do that a practice run or 2 more. Void, Tower, and the Fall, I've probably played each close to half dozen times by now. So I don't really need to put much time in there. I might actually have that hour down now. Yeah, the first time through this level you actually have to do a whole nother section just to get the dash. They're like, jump over here! I can't! That's the other thing. I don't know. The puzzles themselves at times, they make it seem like you have to do something very specific, but really what they're saying is just avoid the obstacle. Don't go through it sometimes. Go around it. These walls are only suggested. Like, the first time through this room, oh, that was terrible the first time. I probably died a few times on each of these, and these are just like simple dashes. And this one, ooh, this was ugly. They had a ceiling up top, why? Because of that bumper at the back of the room. And that's why I don't ever do that way again. As soon as you unlock anti-gravity, You just go the nice and easy route. Be realistic. Until you do something stupid like that. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Yeah, that's kind of the one thing about this game. Like, I think people talk about this whole idea, you know, of the game should allow you to learn in a natural manner. And sometimes this game just doesn't. Like, it really just wants to punish you once or twice. Just be like, heh, you didn't know what you're doing. You got caught by our dirty trick. And then you realize, oh, that's all it was. And then it kind of cheapens it. Because then you can do this. You know, the first time you try to do that, you're like, okay, I gotta jump through these. And then you finally realize, oh wait, I didn't have to jump through them. That was close. That was cheap by me. Ooh, I shouldn't have made that. Oh yeah, my favorite part of this level. I have fallen through this upcoming floor so many times. I think the floor exists, or is supposed to exist. I think you're supposed to go through the middle of those. I don't know. I've never actually gone through the middle. I've just hopped around the corners. Like I said, the inside of that pillar is hollow. And I tried to use it as a backstop. And for some reason, those are now open. But yeah, those 3 blocks right there, all 3 of them. Apparently, none of them actually have collision detection of some sort. I actually found this part of the level pretty cool. The fans oppose each other completely. There. Okay, usually the targets alternate sides. Usually there's like right, then left. For some reason, only the rights are showing up. I've broken the level. I don't know what I did. This is the one thing that's got me kind of thinking I'm not ready for that 1 hour. Like, this, I'm taking so much extra time just trying to get something so basic at this point. Like, this should be really simple to get right every time. And I could have just done that. That's just wonderful. But I think this is where I'm going to call it. I mean, I've almost been doing this for 2 hours, and really, I've shown pretty much everything. There's a few speedrun levels left that I haven't done, and I don't feel like blindly running a bunch of levels anymore. I think I might get the last few logs tonight, but honestly, I think this is about it for today. I'll try to put up some suggestions for next week. As I said, I think Serial Cleaner would be a lot of fun. Definitely one of those weird ones. At this rate, I might actually stream it before TA gets a chance. I think that's got to be one that's coming up for them to do as well. Maybe they'll get to it this week. I mean, as always, I have almost everything. I have a problem. But I will consider streaming pretty much anything that is on Xbox One. All the Xbox One stuff I do still own. I do not trade it in, or if I do trade it in, it is complete, like 100%. I have all the achievements. I did everything. That or I own it digitally. So if you see a title that somewhere on my card, on the website, or in my game collection, I do try to add everything that I have purchased to that game collection. So if there's something there that I have not yet started and you think, oh, that would be really cool to see, please suggest it. There's so many different games, and I like different. If you haven't figured that out yet, I don't do just one style. I don't just try one thing. I will try everything at least once and try to have a good time. So thank you for everybody for showing up today, and I will hopefully be back on next week.